Hello all of you star boys and girls, and welcome to Stargirl episode 2 Let's Talk. And today we're going to, as I said, talk about Stargirl episode 2 called The Suspects. I am so far behind on this show and I'm trying to catch up, but it's really difficult because I have to make videos on Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power as well, and I'm also far behind on that, but I'm slowly catching up on that, and then hopefully by episode 6 I will be fully caught up. But anyway, let's talk episode 2 and let's get right into it. Let's start off with the base information. This episode, called The Suspects, is written by Robbie Hain and is being directed by Andy Armaganian. I'll put the name on screen, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. So we start off 12 hours in the past with the gambler in his trailer doing a bunch of mundane tasks over a music track called Like Sugar by Shaka Khan, looking through some adoption records, and he's actually spied upon by Sportsmaster. He wants payback but can't bring himself to do it. Also, he is spied on by what is presumably the Shade, and it is the Shade he actually comes to visit. And it's like, well, they are setting up all of these people. It's like they want us to have a red herring, but we, the viewers, know better than that. It's not gonna be Taskmaster or Sportsmaster, not Taskmaster. He's Marvel, or she's Marvel, depending on like the comics or the MCU. Yeah, and it's not gonna be the Shade. He doesn't strike me as a guy who would explode someone who he was after. And it seems like Courtney is probably the only one who actually cares about the gambler's endgame, because she wants to play detective and solve his murder. I mean his endgame, and the others don't believe. I mean, he was a criminal and they don't really care about him, and I see why, but she is compassionate, so she wants to solve his endgame. They have to track the gambler's laptop because someone has stolen it. And if you can track the laptop, you will find the one who committed the endgame. Obviously Cindy Berman, she was standing over the endgamed body at the end of the first episode. Anyway, there's this team meeting and Cindy was not invited for obvious reasons. She might be a suspect, or she is a suspect, and obviously she's not gonna be invited if she's a suspect, because then she will have foresight into knowing what they're actually doing. And talking about Cindy, she seems to be experimenting on herself. It seems like her body may be decaying or something like that, so she has to take these potions to keep her body together, and this is the first time we're seeing it. So is this gonna be a regular thing during the season, or is this gonna be a one-time thing only? They showed it off, and why would they show it off if it didn't pay off or set up something in the future? And again, talking about the endgame and Cindy Berman, Cindy actually has the gambler's laptop. Now, is she the one who committed his endgame? We are not sure, but it seems so. But she could have went after the laptop after he endgamed. The person who endgamed the gambler might have not cared about his actual laptop, so it is plausible that she just stole the laptop after he endgamed. And someone who we haven't really seen in the first episode, he was in like one scene or something like that, or two scenes. It is Jake and his friend Jakeem and Thunderbolt, who doesn't actually appear because the CW can't afford the CGI. Jake actually wants to help. He wants to be obviously a part of the JSA, and as you know, the Thunderbolt can, grant you wishes. You have to be really specific about your wish, and obviously you can only wish for the same thing once. So he obviously wants to reveal the name of the endgame or the suspect, and it is revealed that the suspect has many names, which is very cryptic and doesn't really reveal anything. Later in the episode, at their second meeting, which is at school, which seems a little bit sus because it seems like everyone can hear you. Now Cindy is not being invited to the second meeting either, but she obviously goes to the school, so she crashes the meeting, and she knows fully what she is doing. But yeah, while the team is trying to figure out this laptop thing, obviously Cindy knows about the laptop, but she is not revealing anything, and she seems to have her own agenda. Is she gonna be like a sleeper agent or something? A triple agent? Double agent? It's gonna be interesting to see. And yeah, at this meeting, it is revealed that the gambler has been endgamed by blunt force trauma and a stab wound to the heart. And let's jump forward in time and let's talk about the Shade. And he finally gets his perfect cup of coffee after 44 attempts at the diner, but that's not really important. What is important is that Sylvester thinks that the Shade has something to do with the endgame, and Pat and Sylvester visit Shade at the diner. And yeah, Sylvester is still living in the past. We talked about it a little bit in the first episode, is that Sylvester is still treating Pat as a sidekick, and he's like, I'm doing the talking here, you can't be doing the talking, you're my sidekick. And it's like, he was never actually really a good friend to Pat, even though Pat was a really good friend to him, and he's never really treated him as a friend. Even now, he doesn't really treat him as a friend. But yeah, he has some erratic behavior in the diner. He actually pulls the Shade towards him and causes all kinds of ruckus, and Pat has to calm him down. And yeah, they eventually leave the diner with like little to no information. And then later on, Courtney and Sylvester go to his like house or something to apologize, and then the Shade reveals to Sylvester about his funeral and that absolutely no one showed up but Pat Dugan. And Sylvester like actually becomes really mad and attacks the Shade. And yeah, that just goes to show how much of a douchebag Sylvester actually is. Actually, none of the JSA members actually showed up. And I'm not gonna lie, the JSA in and of itself wasn't really that great to begin with. The way they treated Pat wasn't really very hero-like. And yeah, I believe in the comics the JSA is like more of a family than, let's say, the Justice League is, or how they are portrayed in this series. And obviously I'm talking about the old JSA here, not like the young JSA. And yeah, then we are jumping forward to Iceman 2.0, or Cameron. He can't paint no more for some reason. I mean, he's developing his powers more and more, and he is losing his ability to paint. Not sure how it's linked. I can't really remember if they actually told us. And then to something really cool that Sylvester actually did. He is training Stargirl. Well, I say training, it's like basically just one move. It was a very cool move, to be honest, and it's called the Shooting Star. Sylvester has obviously no problem doing it because he's been Starman for a long time and he knows the ins and outs of the staff. And then Courtney performs the Shooting Star move and she actually fails to do it, but eventually she gets it. And the way you do it is like, you have to think happy thoughts or something like that. Pretty cool. Are we gonna see it being used? Probably. It's like gonna be a setup payoff type thing. And then again, Sylvester, these first two episodes have been a lot about Sylvester, and Sylvester actually blames himself for breaking up the JSA because remember that kid who was like Eclipso, or they thought was Eclipso? They actually, he was the one who actually got the JSA together to endgame the kid, and, or like, I can't remember if it was a kid when they endgamed him, but you know, they endgamed an innocent person. And that's why the JSA broke up, and he blames himself for it because he was the one who was in the forefront of the crusade. And then there's the matter of our man, who is Minuteman at the minute, because he broke his hourglass at some point and it doesn't really work because sometimes he has power for 48 minutes, sometimes it's like a minute, sometimes it's 5 minutes. Obviously that is gonna be very dangerous if he's in the field and he actually only has 1 minute of power when he's supposed to have 1 hour of power, so he can't really be relied upon in the field until he fixes his hourglass. And yeah, that has been Stargirl episode 2 called The Suspects, and I'm really enjoying Stargirl, man. Like Stargirl and Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power I'm watching right now, 2 series that I'm really enjoying. I will see you later, Stargirl fans, and goodbye.
Bye.